afternoon, you lovely lot, and how are you on this Monday afternoon? It's a bit chilly up north and a bit snowy, but it's all good in the studios. It's nice and warm. Let us know what you're up to today, because we're having a great day. Our day today is all about multimedia dyes, mixed media skills. You know, there's the one and only person that we have in for all those types of crafts, and it makes our job so much easier, and your job when you get to learn all those hints and tips and everything that you've got. We have the lovely Jan in the studio. Welcome, Jan.
Good afternoon. Yes, we're all sort of fed and watered now, aren't we? So we're all good to go again. I like that little break just to have a bit of a boost. But yeah, this has been a really interesting one to prepare for, Debbie, because presented with a lot of dyes that are originally designed for soft craft work, as in fabric mediums, to then bring those into paper craft. Yep. It's been quite a journey of discovery, and my journey led me to the fact that why have I not had these dyes sooner was the question I've been asking myself, because they are so usable in our paper craft world that we're more, well, that I'm more familiar with, and I know you are, Debbie. Yep. That they actually work for both, which is where you get that multimedia from. It means that we work with several different mediums. So a lot of people think of mixed media as being the big canvases with all the bits and pieces stuck on it, which it can be, but it basically just means using different mediums. Now, that medium could be glitter, it could be cardstock, it could be fabric, it could be paint. The minute you start mixing them, you've got multi or mixed media, and that is as simple as I can break it down to. So having all these dyes arrive that said applique on them, and sort of looking at the world of soft crafts with sort of things like cushion covers or stockings for Christmas, I thought, oh, that's not my bag at all. So it was how to put the paper craft spin it, and hopefully that's what I've done this afternoon, Debbie. I've got so much to show you, just using the majority of it cardstock, and how to sort of adjust it for those. It's opened a whole new world for me. I hope it does for you guys too. Oh,
I love that, and I'm sure it absolutely will. Jan inspires anybody that watches her, which is amazing. Now, what I do want to tell you, if you haven't joined us yet today, we've saved the best till last, I think, because we've had 12 days of Craftmas, which has been super fun, and it means that all the deals, it's like a Christmas present from Crafter's Companion to you. We've had different events going on throughout those 12 days. We're on our 12th day, and we really do, you can see on the screen then, we do have the most amazing deal today. If there was something that you were sitting on the fence about, or you wasn't sure whether to get it, now is the day to get it, because if you are just a gold member, if you're a gold member, a silver member, a platinum member, not only will you get that discount, you will also get the discount plus this 20% off at checkout. So make sure whatever you go for today, you type in that code, which is CMAS, CMAS 20 at the checkout, and you'll get that 20% applied on top of your already discounted goods. The only thing it won't be discounted on, and that is anything that was launched in December, just in the last 12 days, which I think is only a couple of things. So actually, when you think of taking that couple of things off, it's nearly everything that's on the website. So please make sure that you get that additional 20% off, because for me, I think it's an absolute amazing deal on top of already great deals that we've got on there already. So yeah, make sure you use that code CMAS20 and 20% off will be yours, or $20. So not $20, 20%, but off anything that's throughout the UK, Europe, and the United States as well. Now, the first thing we're going to get started on is we had a little sneak peek of these, but we didn't see them in action. But we have got the shape jigsaws. Now, the shape jigsaws are very, very clever, because they give you a beautiful shape, but they also offer you that versatile way of cutting through different mediums. So thicker mount boards and cork and leather and anything you want to cut it through, it's going to be amazing. Now, you'll see that price, you've already got 40% off, $45.99 plus, or $52.99, and then using that code, you'll get an additional 20% off that today. today, which is amazing. Just had a thought, you know what, if you're going for a machine today, you're going to get that additional 20% off. Now, if you're not in the club and you're new to us at Crafters TV or Crafters Companion, join our club. We will show you a little video later of how to do it, but join the club, because straight away you get 5% off for doing absolutely nothing apart from putting your details in and just signing up to the club. As you spend more money, you'll go up to then your silver, up to your gold, up to your platinum. So you will get extra points each time, and then you get more money off. So you'll get 5% off, and then you'll get another 20% off on top of that. So it's absolutely amazing to do. Now, the Shape Jigsaw dies today. If you're in the club, £36.79 plus your 20% off. I'm just going to show you what's in the actual collection and how the dies are. You'll notice straight away that the dies are a different colour to our regular dies. These are our gold colour, and it means that they're mixed media. It means that you can cut out all those different elements. We've got our star, absolutely gorgeous one, which is going to go for so many different occasions. Absolutely love the butterfly one. I think if you want to make a little gift for Christmas, you want your grandkids or your kids to make a little one. I love this statement one. I think it's just brilliant. If you want to ask someone a question or pop the question even maybe, you could write a little message in there.
Yeah, given us a jigsaw, and when you put the jigsaw together,
will you marry me? I mean, my worst nightmare, Jan, but... But you know, there's people out there that would love it. And then we've got our balloon. We should have done this for our George. He proposed not long ago. So George is our director. Yeah, we could have made you this, George. Oh, why didn't we think about that? So yeah, that's it. It's always a next time. Oh my goodness. He's just messing. He's so loved up. It's lovely. I love it. It's not that I'm not romantic. It's just that I've done it a couple of times and I don't want to do it anymore. Right, let's see who's in with us today. Rachel's still in on the socials, so get your messages in. We're fully interactive on Crafters TV, which is one of the things which is amazing. See just down there below, it's our social, and you can message into the show whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, whichever you choose to watch. Obviously, if you're playing a catch-up and you're watching at another time, then you can't message in, but you'll get the gist of how all our shows work. We've got loads of people joining us today. Sarah Brown's in again, 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. Yes, very early hours of the morning there, Sarah. Betty Weaver's in, saying hi. Scraps Shoppers in. Craig, yes, Betty, we see your photo of all those winnings, which was amazing. Philip's in, Rosalind's in, saying hello from Maryland, everyone. I miss not being able to watch this weekend because I was participating in a wedding. Tell us more. Ooh. I do love a wedding. I love going through a wedding. Yeah. Lorna's
but just not your own.
Just not my own, yeah. I don't want to start my own one. Lillian's in, Jennifer's in, Eileen's in, and Coletta's in, and everyone's saying hello. Coletta's saying she's really looking forward to Jan's mixed media. So without further ado, let's get on with some demoing and see exactly what Jan has in store for us.
Right, so I hope folks aren't disappointed today because it's not messy mixed media today, and I know that's a lot of you know me for that. So I haven't got the paints and all that business here today, but I might just say watch this space for January.
Oh,
okay, as far as
that's a teaser.
As that's concerned, yes, we may. I haven't had all the details yet, but there may be something coming into the new year. But today it's all about using those sort of multimedia dies within our paper crafting. So as far as the jigsaw dies, I've just pulled out a few samples from our gorgeous design team who we could not do this job without. Just to give you an idea, if you haven't seen these before, the idea is that you can cut this into whatever medium. Now I've brought the mount board to show you, which is what I'm going to do today. And then you can actually adhere your photographs over the top. So like we've done here, we stuck the photograph down, made sure it's dry, and then passed it through the die. And then it's actually been reassembled to make the embellishment on the card, which looks terrific. It's just a different way of actually sort of showing something. It may be that you want to stamp onto your pattern paper. I think that looks terrific, and that's just the same paper that we've used on the border, and again being popped onto the mount board just to give it that sort of stability, and then die cut. Again, that's that lovely speech bubble, with the photo in again. So just leaving those couple of pieces loose, I quite like that, where it's just got that little bit sort of to finish off idea. Showed you this one this morning, I love that one. That's just an inked background, and instead of putting the jigsaw on the front, we've left the aperture that it's made and then used the pieces to fill the gap. So really, really nice way of doing it. And then you've got that lovely heart shape, again, with that photograph inside. Now, I'm not going to do any of those. You know me, I like to do something different. And this is one of my favourites. I love the missing piece one. I love all the shapes, but I do like the one that looks like the jigsaw piece. So you're going to get quite a substantial die. If I pop this on here, it says on the packaging that we're looking about 4 3/4 by 3.5-ish. Yeah, roughly. So about 4 3/4 tall by 3.5 across. So it's a nice piece to be a focal point on a design. And like Debbie pointed out, whenever you see that sort of gold, coppery colour, bronze, whatever you want to call it, that isn't silver, you've got a good idea that it's going to be what we call the multimedia. And all we mean by that is that when it's been cut, the actual cutting part of the die is slightly deeper than a thin metal die, the silver ones that we're perhaps more used to as paper crafters. And that then means it opens up that world of being able to cut other mediums, and this is where that multimedia comes in. So, you know, you can start taking it into fabric. You could start cutting things like cork or leather or even balsa wood, things like that, especially if you've got the Gemini. The Gemini will take anything up to 4 millimeters thick. And that's quite a good range of different mediums. But what I'm going to do today is use it in conjunction with the mount board. Now, we've got several of these on the show, and mount board is like compressed layers of cardstock. So if I show you one of these just as a piece on its own, it's really good substantial stuff. You can see it's probably about, I'd say, just under 2 mil thick. So, and you can, it's a completely different thing to a piece of cardstock. Now, a thin metal die would struggle to cut through this purely because of the depth of it. You'd probably be able to make an indentation in it to then cut around, but it would be very unlikely, even in a Gemini, for it to go through something this thick, which is where those lovely multimedia dies. This is going to eat it up with no problem whatsoever because it's got that facility to have that slightly deeper cutting edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a stamp. Last time I demoed these, I did a stamped image and coloured it and then used the jigsaw die to cut it out. The concept, I think, was sort of thought about with photos in mind, and they are perfect, but I just wanted to show you something different today. So what I've done is I've just been through my stash and I've pulled out one of the chalkboard. I love these big sentiment sort of showpiece dies that can be sort of like your focal point of the card. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp that one out first. And I've just taken a piece of patterned paper initially to stamp onto. So all I'm going to do is pop that in my stamping platform, and then I'm going to grab some ink. And for what I want to do here, it doesn't really matter what the ink is, because we're not going to use it as an outline and a colouring medium as such. We're literally just going to pop it in with the black ink. So I'm just going to pop that in the centre of the card there for a second. I want it more on that sort of lighter area than the darker area there. So as long as there's room for this to fit round it, we're good. And then I'm just going to grab some ink, and I think I've brought my quick dry. Yeah, I've got my quick dry black ink there, which is good for the job. So we'll get this stamped out, and then the next stage is to adhere it to the mount board, because obviously to put that piece of paper through with that multimedia die, not only is it going to cut your paper, it's more than likely going to try and embed itself in the cutting plate because the extra depth of the cutting edge. So we need to sort of almost make it worth its while. So we need something behind that sheet of paper. Now we've got the mount board on the show today. If you don't have mount board, you could stick a couple of layers of the multi-purpose card together, something like that, to give you the depth. But what I'm going to do is actually pop this now onto a piece of here. All right, so again, we just need that side of it, and I'm just going to stick that down, or I have already stuck that down using my all-purpose glue. Okay, now if you were watching me earlier, I said the most important piece of advice I can give you with this is to let that glue dry, which is why I've actually done one and stuck it on at home ready so that it's more than dry. This has been left overnight and I know that the glue's properly cured inside there. So if you're sticking anything down onto the mount board, whether it be a photograph or whatever it is you're putting on top of it, please, if you're using a wet glue, make sure it's dry before you pass it through your Gemini. Otherwise, all it's going to do, the pressure of the Gemini and the depth of this is going to squidge all the glue and it's going to come out wherever it's got an opportunity. So right at the edges, the last thing you want is that glue inside your machines. So stick it down, wait for it to dry, and then once it's dry, we're literally going to cut it out with the die now. So it does lose a little bit of the saying, but I'll show you how I've counteracted that in a second. So I want to just go at a slight angle, I think, rather than straight. And yes, I've got a little bit of letters showing here, but I'll show you what I've done with the finished piece to sort of get around that. Now again, multimedia dies, I must stress again that we need a different set of plates for them. So I'm going to start with a clear cutting plate. I'm going to pop that metal shim in just to absorb that pressure, then pop my piece of cardstock, my mount board in this case, down. Then I'm going to put the plastic shim and then I've taken out my magnetic shim. If you think that your mount board plus the extra depth of the die is probably even thicker than this mat, we need to take that out to compensate. And if you've got the Gemini and you've got the guidebook with it, it'll tell you in there, if you can't remember, it will give you the sequence, okay, for this. So we're going to pop that through, and that's going to cut through that layer of paper and the layer of mount board that we've popped in there as well. And we're going to get our lovely sort of jigsaw piece now with that stamped greeting on the front of it. So when I take this off the back here, you can see that's all cut through beautifully there. Okay, and then when we take it off here, we just need to flick it out of the setting there, and you've got all your pieces there ready to play with. So it gives you a complete, I mean, this bit you could use this as an aperture and do something. The one that I showed you that got the pieces behind was actually the jigsaw piece used to create the aperture. But here we've got all the bits of your jigsaw. Okay. So you can see how you could put this in a little envelope and actually let the recipient put it together to see what it says or what picture you've chosen or photograph or anything like that. But basically you've got all those pieces that have all cut through nice and neatly with that die, through the mount board, through the layer of paper that we put on top, and we've got it all ready. Now I'm going to swap it for this one purely because at home, I've been round the edge of this one with some ink. It's exactly the same process, but you can see some of the outside edges I've got the turquoise ink on, all right? And that's actually going to fit in with the project that we're going to use. Now, what I've also done is round the edge of the stamp, I've just used one of my alcohol markers to just pop some blue into the colouring. So you can just see, if I grab a little bit of the, we've got what makes, let's just see if I can get it back. There we go, makes you, where's the other bit gone? There we go. So you can just see where there's a little tiny bit of blue. I don't know if we can pick that up on the camera, just to make it pop a little bit, and it's going to tone in nicely with, George is coming to have a look. There we go, look, yeah? It's going to make it tone in with the background. So then you can decide then what you want to actually put this on. Are you going to go on a card blank? Are you going to use it on a, you know, a feature? I've made a little piece of home decor. So I've used another piece of that mount board, like we started off with here. I've used that as the size. I've gone with the same paper that we stamped on. Well, from the same paper pad, should I say, that I've stamped on. And I've just created myself, which is fine in its own right. But then what I actually want to do is lay these down over the top so that we've literally got this jigsaw element. So where it says makes, and that's why I wanted to do it at a slight angle. I want to actually lay this down, and that's why I've inked around the edge of it so that you can see the outline of the actual jigsaw. So just working out where those pieces want to be. So we've got do what makes you happy, do more of what makes you happy, And I want to lay this over the top, so that's why I've inked around the edge of it, and I'm going to line it up. And that's what I said, because the jigsaw's cut away part of the lettering, I've actually got the stamped image underneath which completes that lettering. So again, we're just going to stick that down. I'm going to flick back to you for a second, Debbie, while I stick up, and I'm just going to stick this in place so that we've literally got that jigsaw. Now, it may be that you want to leave one of your pieces adrift. It's entirely up to you. I'm actually going to put the whole thing together, and I'm going to line it up so that it lines up with that wording underneath, just to give it that extra sort of bit of something as a little home decor piece. And the pieces at the bottom here, I've got these coming up later. I've just dipped into those lovely lace edgeables that we've got coming up at 6 o'clock, just to make my borders, just to add a bit of detail there. So I'm just going to stick that jigsaw down, Debbie, and then I'll show you when I've got it all stuck together what it looks like.
Yeah, that is beautiful. What a great concept. So good. That's why we have Jan in the studio. She just has those amazing ideas. Terry Anderson's in on YouTube, and she's saying that she was just in the shopping mall only last week. They had personalised photo puzzles for $52. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen them in the UK. If you order them, they're about £48. And the backing was not nearly as nice as the CC mount board, so Crafters Companion mount board. One puzzle and the die has paid for itself, which is, yeah, amazing. You think how many you can make out of them.
Yeah, and you can make them, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Kirsty D on YouTube is also saying that she uses also stamps, character stamps, and she doesn't colour them, and then she says she gives them away to her nieces and their friends, and then they go get a jigsaw, and then they've got something to colour at the same time. And she said unicorns seem to be their favourite, so unicorn stamps. How amazing is that?
Yep.
I love that idea. That's actually
brilliant.
given me an idea that I might do that for my grandkids for Christmas.
That's lovely,
next
isn't it?
week.
For them
It'd
to
be really nice
in,
for them to do that and colour them in, which is amazing. Right, just while Jan's sticking that down, let's just have a look at those pieces that you're getting in these as well. This is your missing piece, so obviously that actual puzzle. You've got the balloon, which is great for any occasion that's celebrating anything. You've got your statement bauble as well, which I absolutely love. That would be a really good one to put that stamp into that Jan was just doing. The butterfly die, really pretty one. And these are all usable, doable puzzles. The star can be absolutely everything. You could put someone having their picture taken. I know when my daughter passed her driving exam, the examiner puts the picture of her in her car on Facebook. You could then take that picture, put it into that star, which would be really nice to make you've passed your test. And then the love heart one. And obviously we've got Valentine's, weddings, Mother's Day, all sorts of things that could be. You might want to do a nice picture of you and your mum inside there, and then using them. Absolutely perfect as giftables, but also just to give as those amazing puzzles for someone to do, or just having a nice photo in a frame that looks a little bit different because it's done like a puzzle rather than just your regular picture. £36.79 if you are in the platinum price, and $42.39. But please remember, when you are at checkout, put that code in, which is CMAS20, and type that into your box, because you will get an additional 20% off. It's our 12 days of Craftmas. We've saved the best till last. It's the last day, that 12th day, and you're getting 20% off of the whole website. And all it's excluding is just a couple of new launches that we've had in December. Everything else, you will get that additional 20% off, which is amazing. So I'm just going to see if we've got any more comments coming in, and then we're just going to head back to Jan, who's going to show us her finish make. Barbara's saying that she loves the heart puzzle and it's the one she uses the most. Yeah, I think what I love about these is that every design, you're going to use them all. There's not one in there that you're not going to use. There's something for absolutely everybody. The other thing is they all come in the individual packets as well. So if you was to buy the whole set and you've got all of these are good giftables as well. So you can literally gift these out to people, couldn't you? I mean, you could literally put a favourite photo in there, some mount board, a sheet of mount board, and gift those out to anybody that you know that's got a die cutting machine. So I think these are absolutely amazing. Jan's finished sticking that down, so let's go across and have a look.
I've literally just stuck the pieces over the top of that actual stamp underneath so that we didn't lose any of the lettering. And it's just something that little bit different. You know, you could write a message on the back of there, but those stamps are very inspirational sayings anyway. So do more of what makes you happy, whatever that is.
I have to say, Jan, I think that is such a clever idea.
It was just something, I like looking at different ways. It's like I always demonstrate the concept of things, but then in my mind, if a die or whatever it is you're buying has got more than one use, it makes it more worthwhile as far as purchasing it. So, you know, if it's a one-trick pony, that's fair enough. It might be something you absolutely love and you're willing to spend the money. But if it does that one concept and other things, and as I say, last time I was here, I did a stamped image and coloured it, and then we cut it with the die when I demonstrated these in the past. And this time I thought, well, what about the sentiments? And I love the size of these. These are from the chalkboard set that we launched a while ago. And they're just big enough to be that statement image again. But adding the jigsaw just throws like another layer to it, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But it was very clever stamping and then putting on top, so it didn't matter about the bits you missed.
Originally I was just going to put the jigsaw on it, and then when I put the die on it, I thought, oh, the stamp's too big. I've got bits of the letters missing. So then it was like it evolved, because I thought, well, if I stamp it underneath, you're not actually losing any of what it says, but you've got that extra layer there, just of that bit of texture.
Oh, you're very clever, very talented.
Number one.
And it gives you all a really good idea of how to use them. Now, if who was we just saying that about? So Kirsty was saying about how much these cost to actually buy, and you wanted the bigger jigsaws. We do have a bigger one. We have two bigger ones in stock. So you've got the 44 piece, which is your 10 by 8, and your 20 sheets of mount board with that one. So that's a really good one to have. So you're getting this big die, multimedia die, £54.38 or £63, and remember to get that 20% off. And that one is going to do this puzzle for you. So print those big pictures. Most of us have got an A4 printer. You'll be able to print those out in size, and they're going to look amazing. I love the fact that you could put them on here like doing a scrapbook picture, or you can use them as those full workable puzzle. This is a tricky puzzle to do. I love it. I think if you've got someone that is brilliant at puzzles, this puzzle is a really tricky one to get all the pieces back together. This is the one you want to give to your Uncle Albert that says, I can do like a 1,000,000-piece jigsaw puzzle in like an hour, and you could take a picture of some baked beans, and then you could do it on this puzzle, and then
so collector myself, Debbie. And my girls once bought me a decent size. It was probably about this, I think it was about 500-piece one, and it was just covered in Rubik's cubes.
Oh my word.
And it was like an absolute, it took us forever to do it, but we did do it in the end. But yeah, it's just covered in all different Rubik's cube pattern on it, and like, of course it all looked the same. So yeah, it was a case of challenge. Challenge accepted.
And the challenge was accepted. I'm impressed that you did it.
Yes.
If you wanted a different size, we've got a different size in the 11 by 8.5 as well. So you can go for those. They've both got 20% off. So, and then you'll get that additional 20% off at the checkout as well. And if I just bring actually the two boards in, so you can see the differences in those. So I bring them down like that so you can see them. One has smaller pieces and more pieces to it. The other one has larger pieces to it. So you can just decide which ones you want to go for. But that's $47.98 or $57 if you are in the Platinum Club. Now, talking about our Club Inspire, would you like to join? Would you like to know what it's all about? Have a look at this video and see it for yourself.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
If you love Crafters TV, we've made it easy for you to watch us wherever you are. Whether you catch us on your tablets or take us with you on your mobile phone, it's easy to watch us anywhere. From here to here. Maybe don't watch us here. It would be easy to watch us here. Probably the easiest place to watch us is here. Crafters TV, with you wherever you are.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafts Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye for now. Not really. Welcome back to Crafters TV. You're joining us today for a really exciting couple of hours of a mix of media or multimedia skills with our Jan, and she's been showing some amazing bits. Now, the next thing, I love these. If you like animals, you are going to absolutely love these little characters. Now, of course, we look at them. They're from our soft side. They're for appliquing, making these little animals. But actually, these can be used on anything that you can put a mixed media die on. Now, this one pack you can see has got 17 pieces that makes these 5 different animals on here. You've got your dog there, your pig, you've got your horse, your cow, you've got your sheep, and you've got your, is that, a cow. You've got 2 cows, or bull. I suppose that's a bull, is it? We're looking at the cow on this side, and then this one.
Is a little dog.
Is
and
that
a horse? I think he's a horse.
No, because this one's a horse.
Oh, that's the horse.
So I think it's a bull.
Oh.
That's a dog. He's got horns. It's not a dog with horns.
The black and white one's a dog.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a dog. But I'm saying this must be a bull. Because we've got a cow.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Horse.
Tell you what.
It could be a dragon, yes. If it was green, we'd say a dragon.
Let's see what it says inside.
Yeah, we'll let Jan have a look at those.
It's got the guide
you
inside,
don't just get them.
it?
You can see at the top of the screen there, it's 63 dies in total. So on top of those ones, you're getting your panda, your monkey, your lion, your tiger. Oh, there is a giraffe in there. It's right in the middle. And your elephant there. So really super cute. Doesn't stop there. You are getting also these ones, which are amazing. So all your different, these look more like your sort of, I don't know what you would say, so the ones you wouldn't necessarily think of. You've got your unicorn in there, your frog in there, your rabbit, your fox. I'm not really sure what the, this one is at the top. Not really sure. It's...
Which one are we on now?
This one here, Jan.
It's a little dog.
Is it a dog?
You've got a dog and a cat.
It's got a baby's face.
No, it's a little dog.
Yeah, okay, so out of all of them, this is a bit of a strange looking.
Oh, look.
They're all very cute and very amazing. That one is a bit strange, I have to say. I'm sure we'll try and find it. I'm sure it's just another little dog, isn't it?
Little dog and a mouse. You were right,
Give
Debbie.
us your suggestions of what you think.
The other one was a bull.
It was a bull there. I was good with the bull. I'm not even going to take a guess at this one. In fact, let's name him. Give him a name. I think if we're laughing at him, he deserves a name.
I think he should just be called Baby.
Baby.
Baby the pup.
It's got a baby's face. A baby on a dog's body. I think it is probably a puppy. These are all the sort of babies, aren't they? The baby frog and the unicorn's super cute. We're going to have to stop looking at him now because I won't be able to stop laughing. So, yeah, today, I mean, look at that price. That's amazing. £30 or $35. And remember, go to the checkouts, put in the code CMAS. CMAS20 and you'll get 20% off on top of what you're already saving. I mean, that's incredible. It's our gift to you. It's our last day of Craftmas and it's that 20% off across the website. The only exclusions are a couple of new launches that we've launched in December. Everything else is 20% off. I think that's an incredible deal. If you're thinking of getting yourself a die cutting machine, then absolutely head over and get that extra 20% off. You might want to get some of our core tools, our guillotines, scoreboards, anything like that, and get that extra 20% off. I think that's amazing. But everything you're seeing today and everything Jan's showing us, another 20% off on top of those savings. So absolutely fabulous. Are you using the baby, Jan?
You'll be pleased to know that we're not doing the pup, Debbie. We're not doing the pup, honestly. Every time I look at it now, I can just see the baby face on it. So again, you know, these are listed as applique dies and it says multi-craft die. So again, you've got that facility to work with different mediums. Now, I'm actually going to bring it back to cardstock again and we're going to make the little lion. But I've also done one that I've prepared earlier, which I'll show you towards the end. So inside here, these are very similar. If you were watching this morning and we created the little gift tags, they're very, very similar in concept to these. So you've got all the pieces to cut out to actually create your character. So again, you get that lovely, and this was invaluable, you get that crib sheet, which is huge, but it's got all the pieces. So again, you know, you've got an awful lot of metalwork here. And when you look at it, you might think, well, where do I start with all this? But there's a guide here as to what all the pieces are. So you've got the head, you've got the body, you've got the lion's mane, etc. Right down to the little details. You know, we've got paws, we've got tiger markings, we've got the little mouth there. So all the pieces are explained. And then all the animals on there, it breaks them down so that you can see exactly which pieces you need to build and layer to get that finished design. And then it's suggesting that if you want to use embroidery thread to create those last little details, you know, like mouths, or he's got little eyebrows here, things like that, I'm going to show you a different way with that because I didn't want to get the needle and thread out. So we've got the giraffe, we're going to do the little lion in a second, and then over the page you've got the other four. So we've got the little panda on there, and I like the idea of these because, you know, this one, you know, take the body part out of him and perhaps put him a little one on for a tail. You could have them looking forwards and in reverse. So that lends itself to things like, you know, if you're looking at a card with an aperture in, you could have the little one on the front, but you could actually do the same to put on the reverse of it as if he literally is looking through the window. You've got the monkey there, the tiger and the elephant. So this is just a guide to show you how to build them, to get them to look like the character. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow that guide for the little lion here. Now again, I've done a lot of the cutting because obviously there's several passes through the machine, but the piece that I haven't done is his head. So when I look on here, the head piece is the same for all the characters. So you've got the head with that little tuft of, whether it's hair or mane or whatever it is, and we're going to cut this out again, and I'm sticking with cardstock for this one. And I've used the craft card as the brown for the lion. So again, I've got two pieces together before we pop this in to cut it. Because you've got that different coloured dye, it's suggesting that it's slightly deeper again. And yes, I could just cut one piece of cardstock. It would do a fantastic job, but it would, you know, you would get that sort of, that embedding mark in your, you know, in your plates because it wants to work with something a bit thicker. So what I'm going to do is pop it on there, stick it down on both layers, and I always tend to put my metal shim in when I'm working with the multimedia dies. A, it gives it something to bite into, and B, it does protect your clear plates a wee bit. So just the plastic shim and your top cutting plate. All these multimedia dies exclude your magnetic shim. So out of all the ones that I've shown you that are this different colour for a die, they all exclude that magnetic shim because the depth of the die is the equivalent of the thickness of that magnetic shim. So again, this will have popped through here really, really straightforward. And I'm going to stick these two pieces together so that we've got the same thickness as all the other ones. So we'll get rid of that bit. We'll just pop a little bit of glue to stick them together. You can actually stick the pieces of card together before you cut them if you wish, but again, make sure it's dry before you pass it through your die cutting machine. So because they've been die cut, we know that they're going to stick together beautifully. And then just to emphasize the outside edge, I've just got some of my brown ink there on the applicator just to sort of outline. And it just sort of defines the edge of the piece of cardstock then where you're layering them up. It's not necessary. You just know me and my ink.
I love that you can just use your inks to make them really noticeable like that.
Everything in my world has to be inked, Debbie. It's not finished if it's not inked. And then if we carry on with our diagram, then we've actually got his head now at the ready. You can see that there. And then I've already cut the body piece, so that bit's going to sit underneath. Now you can see already that they're going to be a decent size there. And then I've just taken a slightly different colour. This one's going to go behind those pieces to create his mane. And they're such fun, honestly, to work with. You can see the beginnings of him there. And then I had a look at all the other pieces that we need. And as I say, I've done quite a bit of the die cutting. Some of it went through the mini. As I say, it did leave quite an imprint in my plastic folder for the mini, so just be aware of that. And I'm actually going to leave that one now and just use it for mixed media. So I've got his ears. You've got two pieces for the ears. So you've got the little outer ear and then the little inside piece, which are all part of your metal dies, and they're all on the key, so it tells you which bit's which. And then we've got two little feet that are going to go at the bottom here. I've got his tummy, and then there is a heart which you can use on a lot of them for the tummy. I've just cut that in a bit of glitter card. And then we've got his little eyes. 1, 2, and this one did have a nose.
He didn't lose that one.
You can see how he's coming together, honestly.
Look at that.
So again, I'm just going to stick that together, Debbie. I'm going to flick back to you for a second while I pop him together like he is, and then I'll show you what else I'm going to do with him when we've got him stuck together.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So let's go. So just going back a few, we've had lots of comments about the jigsaws. People are loving those. Kirsty's saying that I've got a 5,000 piece jigsaw that has a Gothic fairy, and the fairy is the only bit I've ever done. It's about 550 pieces.
Wow, that is a lot.
The rest of the jigsaw is black.
The majority of mine are 1,000 pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, well, I would be giving up on that. I'm not going to do that. Jill Lil J Crafts is saying, I like hard jigsaws, so I stamped and coloured and did both sides to make it harder.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a very tricky thing. I mean, that's like catching someone out, isn't it? Like my granddaughters do have some jigsaws where they've got them on both sides, but they're normally sort of, they've got a little mark on them so you can determine which way round they go. And I think that's just to get the most out of the jigsaws. But no, again, Jill, if you was to give me one of them puzzles, no, I'm giving you it back. Mary is saying that the animals are so adorable. Yes, they are, Mary, and fabulous deal as well. Both cows and bulls can have horns, so I don't think it mattered that one had horns. The black and the white one is the dairy cow, and they can be any breed. Deb, if you buy 6 puzzles, do you have to buy the mounting board? So the mount board is extra. If you want to make puzzles with the dies, then yes, I would suggest popping some mount board in your basket. If you just want to use the dies to cut out of mixed media, what weight of card would you say? Would you double up your card, Jan, if you were cutting these dies?
Anything that's a multimedia die, I would be using at least 2 layers of 300 GSM cardstock.
Yeah.
Purely because if not, the extra depth of the die is going to cut into your plates, and the more die you've got available, the deeper the cut in that plate, so the scarring on the plate is sometimes irreparable. So if you build up the cardstock, even if you don't need that extra layer, it's better to pop the extra pieces in just to protect your plates a little bit and get a bit more longevity out of those.
Good tip. Yeah, so you don't have to have the mount board, but I would say that if you wanted to make your puzzles, it's a really good idea to stick some in your basket. And please remember that 20% off as well, because you are getting with that code your 20% off at checkout. Rachel saying, to make the animals into a fringed puppet easily, just put a loop of card on the back of your finger. That's a good idea. So you loop a card to put it round your finger and you've got a puppet.
Of course,
Yes, amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great idea that is, Rachel. And Jennifer saying, I love the monthly craft kit with these cute animals in. I had both boxes. I have to get these dies too. And she loves your ideas, Jan, as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Right, we're nearly there. I've just got those last couple of pieces.
Super cute,
honestly.
Isn't he?
And again, you know, you could have a play around with these. I'm thinking there probably are more animals that you could get away with just by having a play around with the pieces and changing the colours.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, with dies like this, there are no rules, are there?
Not really.
I mean, you could have a pink lion if you wanted to.
Yep.
I would have a pink lion, Jan.
Definitely. Wait while you see the other one I've put together. He's gorgeous.
I'm excited. I love it. I love it. So you cut through 2 pieces of craft card for these?
I did, yes. Yeah.
And actually, the great thing about what you're showing here with paper crafting is that without using mount board or anything else, just cutting through multiple cardstocks, you can actually stock make, can't you? You can make lots of them in one go. I love Rachel's idea of putting a little ring of card around the back and then popping them on your finger. You've got your ideal finger puppets then.
So I'm just using one of my liner pens there, just to give him a sort of little bit of expression. And then we'll pop him some whisker marks in as well. You can see there, you know, they're absolutely, honestly, just the making of them, even if you do nothing else with them, they are so, so cute. So he's come out now, and we're looking finished at around about 5 by 3.5 inches. And then, of course, you know, if you want to use them, I've just done a very basic design on a card. You know, you could have them on your card with a little sentiment, and it could be, you know, this would be fabulous for a kiddie's birthday, perhaps with a number. We've got those alphabets and numbers on, which I'm going to show you later, so you could personalise them, things like that. And then the one that I made up at home, I used some felt, and I used some of our glitter fabric as well.
Oh, Jan, look at him.
Honestly, aren't they adorable? So this one, I've just stuck the felt onto some card just to make it a bit more substantial again. And this is actually our glitter fabric, which is just cut straight through with the media dies. And, you know, just transferring it from either cardstock or into your fabrics, you know, whichever you want to do it. I just think they're just such a delight to play with. I want to have a whole set of them. I want to make them all and have a whole set of them.
I just want to go home and make animals
I know
now.
my little
That's all I
Toby would
wanna
love
do.
these.
Yeah,
absolutely.
they're amazing.
So I'm going to
They're
have to make some for him to have a play with, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I tell you what I've really, which has really shocked me, is the size of them.
Yes.
I actually thought they were going to be little.
When you see the pictures, and it does actually say not actual size on the front of here, but I must admit I sort of expected something a bit smaller. But I think the fact that they are such a decent size means that they're going to make a really good focal point, as I say, for your card. You know, that's what we're looking at. We've got a 6.5-inch square card at the background that I've matted and layered, and you can see there, you know, that he is literally a focal point. So my Toby's coming up on 3, would you believe, at the beginning of next year. So to actually remove this and have that number 3 on here ready for him, and maybe a 3 today or something like that, be perfect for him. Yep.
And you can use that one that looks like a baby for a baby card.
Why not?
Absolutely. I love these, and you are loving them just as much as we have. So there are applique animal dies, but please don't be put off if you are someone that isn't a sewist. You don't have to use them to sew. Like Jan, you can just use them with your general cardstock, your mount board, your cork, any texture, your felt, your glitter materials, anything like that. You're going to be able to create just the most amazing little animals, which are super cute. £30 today or $35. If you're platinum price, if we can just take a look, if you are in the US, $28. Go to checkout, you will get that 20% off as well. So if you put in the code CMAS20, you will get an additional 20% off at the checkout, which is just bonkers today. So remember, it's our 12th day of Craftmas, our very last day, and I think we saved that best till last with that 20% off at the checkout, which is amazing. Now, I do have to let you know about the mount board, because you are loving this on its own. You will find the mount board. Here we go. It's on the screens now. We've got our 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 mount board. 2-pack we've got in this, 40 sheets in total. That's amazing. $13.58 or $60.98. So a great saving, plus your 20% off. Don't forget that. We've got other sizes for you as well to go with those bigger dies if you wanted to. We've got our 8 3/4 by 10 3/4 mount board, 2-pack again, 40 sheets in total. This is ridiculous deals today. I'm loving them. And then our next one is our 9 by 12, which is our mount board, another 2-pack, 20 sheets in total on these ones. These are really big. You're getting 10 sheets in each. Platinum price of £20.38, which is amazing. So absolutely incredible. I do just want to show you one more thing. Let's just go to the luxury cardstock, because you are absolutely loving this. We say luxury for a reason, because it is the most luxurious cardstock, I think, on the market. It is glitter cardstock, glitter sheets of stickers. It's mirror card, and it's also Centura Pearl. You're getting 100 sheets in total in all these different colours, and it's going to last you all year round. Amazing value. One of these sheets, if you was to go into a stationery shop, would cost you at least 99p. So that is incredible for 100 sheets of $49 or £28.50, plus your additional 20% off at checkout. I know I keep telling you that, but I really don't want you to miss out on that, especially if you want to go for a Gemini machine today, because that is a really good saving on there. Right, I think we're all up to date with all your, everyone's going, yeah, straight to basket, straight to purchase. I love it. Yes, get that 20% off. We're going to be having a look, a little video here.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. So, join our family of craft experts with live tutorials and demonstrations every day. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products here on Crafters TV. Get creative and craft along with our amazing deals. Your next craft project is only a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or watch on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channel. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends in our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
You all had time with each other! You're not through to boot camp. Get off!
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. So, stop what you're doing and enjoy the fun here on Crafters TV.
My name's Michelle and I am the newest craft expert. My crafting journey began just after I had my daughter Alice, so she's 14 now. Long story short, I suffered with postnatal depression. My husband sort of noticed, took me to the doctors, and of all things, the doctor suggested colouring. Said it's so mindful, really helps. So anyway, my husband had noticed that I discovered the craft channels. Went out one day, came home with an amazing little craft kit for me, and that is where my addiction began. But one of my main inspirations is actually going onto our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and seeing what everyone else is making with the same stuff that we're making. As cheesy as it's going to sound, Debbie Robinson, Debbie Fisher, those are two of the main people that I watched a lot of. They are all so inspirational. Okay, so I absolutely love everyone that I work with. I don't have a lot of juicy gossip that I can share, but I will say Debbie Robinson is exactly what you see on screen. She is a laugh a minute. She is exactly what you see. So, you think, oh, did I put it on for the camera? They don't. Debbie Robinson is definitely Debbie Robinson, and I love her. And she really does say all the time, what am I like? So other than crafting, I just love being at home with my family. I know that sounds cheesy, but my husband is the most amazing support for me. My kids are fantastically weird, odd, crazy, but perfect. But at the minute, I'm very focused on my health, so I'm exercising a lot. So I would say, other than craft, which takes up 23.5 hours a day, that my health and lifestyle, I think you would say. So I've had a few cards published in a couple of magazines as designer for the day. So that was sort of a really big deal for me. I loved it. And then I got accepted onto the Crafters Companion design team. Oh my God, the whole world could hear me scream with excitement. And then I got the call to come up and try out for this job. It is by far the most amazing, exciting thing I have ever done, and it's been life-changing.
Nice is it to get to meet all the team on a personal level like that? I was just saying I haven't seen Michelle for a long time. Anyway, hello you lovely lot. You're joining us on Crafters TV on this very wintry Monday morning. Let us know what the weather's like where you are. Is it really freezing cold, or are you somewhere nice and hot and sunny? It will be good to hear what you're up to today. Now we're talking all things multimedia, all those multimedia skills, but actually taking what we think of soft craft products into paper crafting. And who better to have in the studio with us other than Jan, showing us all her different tips and techniques and what she's learned over the years, because we do look at her as our multimedia queen. She's very clever at just doing all those little things that we don't think about, or I don't think about personally. So we're now going to look at our, now these are a little bit different for us because they're what we class as our Gatefold dies, but they've got a difference. What you can see straight away, they're a different colour dye. With a dye that's a sort of bronze goldy colour, you always know that's normally going to be a mixed media dye, which means it's thicker than your regular dyes. What I love about these dyes, and actually the price of these is the top of the list, 60% off, only $47 or £31, is the fact that you get nesting dyes with these to create different things. You get your bunting dye, you get lots lots of little accessory dies. And what happens with these is they create, now if you go back and watch Wake Up Call, Jan actually made the star card, which is amazing and so simple to do. I'm not going to tell you much more about them. I'm going to let Jan show you, but I love the concept of these, that you can cut through multiple layers of cardstock in one pass through your machine. But if you just want to make one big topper of that cupcake, you can cut it through your mount board, you can cut it through material, any sort of thicker element that you want to put it through. Love the butterfly one. I think that's absolutely stunning. I also love the fact that you can make just a freestanding card as well. They don't have to be a gatefolded card. They could just be a tent fold card, and you just do them a different way. The beautiful owl, which is You're a Hoot. Absolutely gorgeous design. I mean, he's just incredibly sweet. So many things you can do with him, and I love the fact that he's a really large die. So making him into that card that you can fold back. So let me just get my fingers around there so we can see. Opening it up, you could put an owl inside as well because you're opening that whole card up. Such beautiful designs. Now, if you're in the platinum price, you are only paying £24.80 with an additional 20% off, $37.60 with an additional 20% off. If you've only just joined us, we've got our last day of Craftmas today. We've had 12 big days of Craftmas with lots of different deals throughout. We're on our last one and we have saved that best till last. It's 20% off. I mean, that's a huge amount of saving. That's not just off of sale things, that's 20% off of everything on our website, and the only thing excludes is our new launches, and I think there's only been a few of them this month because we've only had 12 days of the of December. So without ado, we're going to go back over to Jan and see exactly what she's got in store with these lovely gatefolded dies.
Right, so we did actually do the star this morning. If you were watching on Wake Up Call, I did say I was going to do the cupcake, but we're going to make it look very different. Now, I've actually got the card here that we've shown on the front, minus its little cherry. I don't know whether that's got lost in transit. Our Bianca's made this one, and she's actually, I've just been looking, I'm not sure if these aren't real hundreds and thousands that she's stuck on here. So it does look very much typically what you'd expect from a cupcake. And then you've got that gatefold down the centre, which allows you to open up and experience the whole card there. So we're going to use this concept, but we're going to make it look very, very different. So again, inside your packaging, you've got not only the dies in there, you can see again it's a decent size, and you've got that same instruction sheet that we looked at this morning. It's the same principle, the same concept, regardless of the shape that you're going to use. So this time it suggests a piece of 6.5 by 12-inch card to get the right dimension. So I've done that. I've actually got my cardstock ready, and then it asks you to use your scoreboard and score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. Okay, so I've done that already on the scoreboard. And then to fold it and burnish it into your gatefold style. So all we're going to do is fold some of these elements in now, and I've kept the pearl cardstock in the inside because we're going to cover the most of the outside elements up. So again, I'm going to turn that one back. Just make sure everything's nice and square when you're folding them back, so that everything lines up nicely. And then the same on this side, and you'll find that you get that lovely meat in the middle there. So again, just to burnish all those folds, just teaches them where you want them to be. And they should meet up nicely in the middle, like so. You can see there. So the idea of a gatefold normally is like so, where you get those gates, they look like a gate that opens. We've actually got a double gatefold here because we've got these extra pieces to give us that sort of fold back effect. So your master die, the shape one itself, is actually cut to go on the front of here, and it's got a little notch right at the top and right at the bottom, which we're going to line up with that centre fold line that we've got where the two pieces meet. So I'm just going to grab some tape and pop that onto the edges that are going to be cut away. So make sure it's flat in its closed position, and make sure you've got room to fit it all onto your piece of cardstock. And don't worry that the edge of the die comes over the edge of the card, because we're going to put another piece on the front that will actually resolve that when we've passed it through the machine. So again, I'm just going to continue with those smaller plates. And same as I've done before, all that series of plate, and then we're going to pass that through the Gemini, and that's going to cut through now. Centura pearl, we're looking at, is it about 310, I think, isn't it, Debbie?
It is,
pearl.
yes, yep.
So we've got all those folds in there. Don't worry about the cracking noise. You'll find that whenever you use what I call an outline die that has no detail in the middle, you'll often hear that cracking sound, and it's just the machine doing its job. It's a bit scary the first time you hear it. You think, oh, what's happened? But it is actually okay. It's meant to do that. So
Jan,
again,
for anybody that's watching and just new to multimedia dies, what would happen if you put in your magnetic shim?
Right, hopefully, if you're using a Gemini, it would actually kick into its sort of detective process, and it has sensors inside the Gemini. You can actually see them. If you have a look in the mouth of your machine, you can just see them inside. There's one about here and here, further back. So what happens is that the machine should sense that there's something wrong, i.e. your plate combination is too thick. Because if I was to include that mat as well, this is actually thinner than my layers of cardstock and my die, which we said was slightly deeper. So we're actually substituting this for this. Now, if you have this in as well, it's technically going to be too deep. So your sandwich is too thick. Now, the sensors should pick that up, and when it hits the sensors, it should stop the motor, and it will pass you your plates back out the same way that you put them in. And that then would suggest there's something wrong. If ever that happens with your Gemini, it's usually because something's not quite right. So have a look at the plates and see whether you've got them in the right order. If you've got a handheld machine where you're cranking it through, you'll find with that magnetic shimming that you're going to meet resistance when you're trying to get the plates through. You should never have to force that handle round to feed your plates through. If you're hitting some kind of resistance, again, it should ring alarm bells in your head that something's not right, and it's giving you that opportunity to correct it before you do any damage to either the machines or, you know, your card and your die or anything like that.
Perfect.
So what we've done there is we've actually taken all the way through. So I have 1, 2, 3 layers of Centura pearl there at 310 GSM each. So you're looking at over 900 GSM in weight there, and it's literally gone through that like butter.
Yeah, it's not even warped the card.
It's not warped the card, it's not done any damage to the edges, it's not, you know, the die is still perfectly flat, it's not bowed the die in any way. So this is why that multimedia die sort of comes into its own. If I tried to do this with a thin metal die, it would have cut the top layer, it might have caught elements of the second layer, and it may have left an impression on the third layer, but there's no way would it have cut all 3 layers. So this is where, you know, you get the benefit and you can start and do other things as opposed to a thin metal die cutting a layer of cardstock. So we've got that piece now at the ready, and then what it asks you to do in the instructions is to cut this same piece again. All right, because what we want to do is we want to make the front piece, because we have actually got a little bit of our design missing here. We want to create that front piece. So what I've done is I've cut that out of a piece of our lovely silver glitter card. And again, I've backed it on some multi-purpose card so that I've got the thickness that this particular die is looking for. Otherwise, I could have just cut my cardstock as it is, but like I said to you, you're going to end up with the dies embedding, trying to embed themselves because of the pressure in the machines. So this is going to be my top layer, and then you've also got all the accessories to go with it. So you can see we've got the casing here, and I've actually cut that out of some, and I found this. I think this is from a really old collection. Not only is it sexy black, it's actually mirror card as well.
Sexy black.
The Centura pearl, I always refer to it as my sexy black because I think it's very, very nice. Keep it for special occasions. I was having a look through the stash and came across this one that's actually mirror card in black.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice. I think it's from a very old collection.
I was trying to, we did do a collection that had
I'm not sure if it wasn't
card.
a Christmas collection.
It was a Sarah's collection.
Yeah.
So
I've had it a while, but I just thought, oh, it's perfect for what I'm looking for. And I've cut the base out, and then I wanted a specific look. So I went through the embossing folders, and this is from a signature collection. And it's just got that confetti burst on it. And you can see there that design. So what I did was cut that die cut piece and popped it through the embossing folder, which is now, can you see that design on there?
Oh wow,
Just give it a little bit of
beautiful.
embossed detail on it to make it look like the cupcase that it's sat in. So what we need to do next is pop, let me pop the dies to one side. First job we need to do is put this on here. Now in the instructions it will ask you to cut this piece in half because we want half on each side and still be able to open our card. Now you could have a look at it and try and line it up. You could use the die and mark the little notches to line it up, but the easiest way I found to deal with this was to actually stick it, in fact we'll use the tape pen again, is actually stick it to one half. So on this left-hand side, I'm just going to add some tape. So whether you want to use the tape or whether you want to use a wet glue, and then line up this side of it. Don't worry about the bit that's missing here. I'm going to look at the bottom point and I'm going to look at those top points and line this side up like so. Give it a good press down. And then when I fold this back, I'm going to use the fold edge now as a guide and take my scissors and I can just feel up against the card there and trim this, and I know that that's exactly the line that I'm working to for this piece to then fit on the other side of the card. So just follow it all the way down using the card. I've got my scissors up against the card and you've got that nice neat edge on this one and you've got exactly the right piece now to go on this side. So again, little bit of that tape onto the front of here, and then we can line this one up, and again I'm going to go for that bottom corner, make sure it's lined up against the fold there, and then when I'm happy with it I tend to sort of press it down from the back, and you can see now when we fold it back together again I've got that perfect alignment there ready.
Such a good tip, Jen.
Now we need to do the same with this piece as well, because if I stick this piece down in total, we're not going to be able to open the card. Now it may be that you just want to stick this to one side and open it like so, but I'm actually going to do the same again. I'm going to pop this down and then cut it. Now because I'm going to go on to glitter card this time, I'm actually going to use my wet glue because it will soak into the glitter card and it gives you a little bit better adhesion in my opinion than the dry tape. So again, line it up with the bottom of the card there and the edge. Get that piece stuck down, and I'm just going to give that a second to adhere before we start cutting into the rest of the card, and I'll talk you through the rest of the embellishments. Okay, so in here you've also got your little bow. So this time I've been into my cards, my stash. I do have some fabrics in my mixed media stash, and this is an old cotton print that I bought when I was working at the store. So again, I've backed it onto card and I've cut out the bow element, and we've now got our little bow ready to go on the front of the cupcake that's got that fabric touch to it. Just added a gem in the centre there. I've also cut out a couple of the candles in the red. So they're going to go on our design. And I've added, these are not part of the design, but when you see what I've done with the card, I've just added a couple of little stars out of my own stash. And I've got a piece of ribbon to go behind the bow. So that's all my embellishments at the ready. And then once we've got this bit, normally I would leave this one to dry a wee bit longer with it being stuck onto the glitter card, but we're literally going to do the same again and just cut down that line so that I know I've got the right piece now to work at the other side and it fit beautifully. So again, little bit of the wet glue on there. Now I know we haven't had Christmas yet, but my cupcake's going to be for an event just after Christmas, and that's why I've picked the nice black and silver and red. And we're going to go, if I put in the centre here. Now this one, I've actually used a piece of the cardstock again, and I've just drawn round the inside of that main die, and then when I've cut it out, I've cut it inside so I've cut the pencil line away, so it's actually just a fraction smaller, and it's actually going to be a happy new year. So I know we've not had Christmas yet, but I'm just thinking ahead, and I just thought this was a great design to go for a new year card just by altering the colour scheme. And when we look at the one that I showed you at the beginning, it just proves that by changing the colour you can make something look very, very different. So we've got our Happy New Year. I've just stamped that out of one of my old stamp sets in the middle there. Pop the star in it. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to lay this across the front. So I'm just going to use a piece of my really thin, the tape here now. I'm going to pop it right across the middle and then cut it off again in the centre. So again, we want it about so. Okay. Trim it at this side. Trim it at this side. And then I'm just going to take it down the centre there. I should be able to get there. There we go. All right. And what I want to do with that one is actually put my ribbon across the centre there. So if we take the liner off and then pop the ribbon across, and again I'm going to pop a little snip through there so that we want the card to open, so everything that goes across the whole card we just need to release in that centre there. And then again cut those excess pieces off the side. You could actually wrap them right round if you wanted to, if you don't want the cut edges on there. And then, whoops, come away. We're going to put our little bow. Do you know, I've got that piece wants to stick to me. It's been a bit friendly. Come away. This one's actually going to go now. And again, I'm just going to stick this on one side. Okay, so we'll go back to the wet glue because I'm going over the ribbon and everything. That tacky glue, all the embellishments and things, and I'm just going to hold that onto that right hand side so that when we've still got room to open it this way. Okay, that's just going to take a second to grab. And then the rest of it is just embellishments. So I thought we'd have a couple of the candles because it's New Year and we're going to have a bit of festivity going on. So this one's going to go on here. That one's going to go at the side of it. Like
this feels like a card good enough for Minnie Mouse. It reminds me of Minnie Mouse. That bow.
With the black and red, yeah. Just takes a second for that tacky glue to grab on the different surfaces. So just, oh, she says, pulling it off again. Just be patient with it. Hold it down. And then where I didn't want them to look as if they were just floating around, which is where the stars came in. So I'm just going to cover the bottom of those with the stars because otherwise they looked a little bit odd. So again, just going to pop those. And again, with the tacky glue, it's just a case of waiting a second or two for it to just grab.
Yeah,
so
I
again,
always say to leave it about 30 seconds to a minute for it to evaporate, and then it becomes a bit more stickier, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's where it gets its name from, I think. But when we're demoing, we don't always have that 30 seconds, do we? But yeah, ideally, just to let it cure for a second or two, and then you will get a better stick. Now, I've got an awful lot of glue on that bit. We don't need all that because it's going to end up everywhere. And that little one's going to go just to one side there. And as I say, it just needs to hold them in place for a second or two. But if I bring back the one that we had that was a lovely little sweet cupcake, you can just see how different by changing colour schemes. It's exactly the same design, it's the same cards, the same dies that we've used. This was the original one in the pink with the little hundreds and thousands on, and then just by changing that colour scheme we've gone for Happy New Year there and created something that looks very, very different. And they do stand, so when they're done they will stand as a feature, and I think they'd be great as well, you know, like the inside piece that I put in. Maybe if you're having a New Year's Eve party or something like that, you could put your party invite details on that inside bit. So you've got the celebration bit at the front, and then, oh, we're having a party and your time and your date and wherever it is on the inside. I just think they're really something that little bit different, aren't they?
Absolutely, Jan. That is gorgeous. I love it. It's funny, as you said that, I was thinking in my own head, like if you're having a New Year's Eve dinner party, you could have them as name places and their name inside.
You couldn't you? Yeah, as little
I
place
love
settings,
that. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And it does just show you that just switching up the colour, using different cardstock. Remember, we've got that luxury cardstock as well. You can make something look totally different, which is amazing. And I love your idea of invitations, I think, for an invite.
Yeah,
What
they'd
an
be
amazing.
lovely, wouldn't they? Yeah.
And it does show you as well that that's quite, I think, a grown-up invitation.
Yes.
But if you were doing for a first birthday, fourth birthday,
change your
little
colour
ones,
scheme again, add a couple of balloons or something instead. Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Versatile.
So let's just show you what you are getting in that collection with those gatefolded dies. And remember, they're freestanding on their own as well, but you can create those gorgeous gatefolded dies. So you've got your hoot in that collection, the majestic butterfly. I mean, if ever there was a big butterfly, that is it. It's amazing. You've got your cute cupcake, which is beautiful, the one that Jan has just used, and their opulent star. If you go back into Wake Up Call, you'll be able to see Jan's demo with that die as well. And remember, these are all multimedia dies, so they will cut through those thicker mediums that you want to cut them in for. Jan, you have so much love coming in. Everybody is saying that they are loving the tips and ideas. Stephanie's saying she loves them. Terry is saying brilliant tip on the cutting the tops off in half. Yeah, absolutely. Joey's saying, and Marie is saying, it's gorgeous, Jan. And Stephanie's saying that she's saved this show because of so many of the great ideas. So that's a really nice one. And we've got an off topic, but Gemma is saying, can you use mount board to make the cover of memory books, or is it too thick?
No, I would say it's okay. I mean, normally we tend to refer to something like chipboard or grey board, but I think that would work fine. Give you a really nice sort of robust cover to cover with your, you know, your papers or your fabric or whatever you're using for the front of your book. Definitely.
I agree, absolutely. And if you've got one of those, I don't know if you have one of those crocodiles. They weren't a crocodile, they were crocodiles. Hey, Jan's
Funny you should mention that.
Funny I should mention that.
I
think we need to put an idea to the design team to do our own one. I haven't got mine anymore, but it is an amazing little gadget. That's really good for going through mount board with your,
Do you know, I've punched holes in leather belts with this before now.
Yes, that's what I used to do,
Not for tightening my belt. Usually it's adding an extra one to let it go, but yeah. The kids are like, Mum, have you got anything that'll punch through this? Course I have. It's not one of our products. It is a different manufacturer. But it's essentially a fancy hole punch, and it sets the eyelets, which is what I've brought it for if we get round to that last demo. But that was funny, that
Mary's saying, Jan, you always have the greatest ideas and tips. Rosalind's loving the glitter card on the cupcake. Brenda's saying, I never thought a cupcake could look so elegant. Carletta's saying, lovely card, Jan, fabulous card. Mary Reno's saying, and Samantha is saying, really pretty, Jan, lots of great tips. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Yes, absolutely. Right, next, embroidery dies. These are just super popular. Ever since we launched them on Friday, I launched them with Debbie Robinson. She showed you lots of different ways of how you can do them. Mindfulness is the one thing that comes to this craft. We always say that with our colouring, but actually the sewing side of things is just as mindful. And I love that there's a pattern to follow. It's a little bit like when you were kids and doing dot to dot, but this time you're following those dots, those holes, which are punched through our dies into your cardstock and creating the most amazing creator cards, which look just beautiful to use. So that's our swirly leaves. We've then got our beautiful butterflies, so a lovely one. Debbie did a lovely one with this butterfly where she stitched it totally different, so you can go back and watch that launch show on Friday. This is my favourite. I love this one, the floral heart, absolutely beautiful. These flowers can be done in so many different ways. There is a cheat sheet with all of these, so you know exactly where to sew, but you can obviously, you expert sewists out there can go off, and sorry if sewist is not the word, because I don't think that's what they say, is it? I don't think that's a word they like. I remember Lizzie years ago telling me that they don't like to be called sewists. Not sewist, so that's not the right word, so I'm apologising now for it. But on top of that, on top of that, you do get all your luxurious thread in there as well. You're getting 12 different colours. There is 8 metres on each one of these. You can take these threads apart. I didn't realise that. I'm glad Debbie Robinson told me, because I've got to demo these tomorrow, and I would have just sewn it with one layer of these.
There's usually
actually,
6 strands in an embroidery thread.
There's 3 in these.
Is there?
Yes, so there's 3 in these.
Yeah.
So Debbie was parting them, and then she was saying, then mix that last thread with one of the other colours.
Oh, that
and
would
then
look
you
good,
get,
wouldn't it?
yeah,
Like a rainbow
really,
effect.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
And she
usually
also,
embroidery threads have 6 strands, so you split them into 3 lots of 2.
See,
so obviously we've cut these down a little bit because we've offered so many there,
so many,
aren't there?
and so many colours, yes.
Yeah.
I can sew a button on badly.
But even again, if you've got all that length, even the one that's left, you can just double it up and make a double strand of it, can't
Absolutely,
you? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yes, we've still got those in. Obviously, you're not getting your 20% on them, but we are offering you a launch show deal which has 20% off that price anyway. If you're platinum price, $35.99 or $42.39. Now, we want you to go and check out your baskets, maybe go and put the kettle on, have a cup of tea, while we just put this little video on.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. I love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
Hello, I'm Corinne Robinson, and I am having an absolutely fantastic time up here working for Crafters Companion. So my crafting journey began back in, I have to get this the right way around, 2001. I went to a craft workshop just at a craft store, and I was absolutely hooked. My mum convinced me to go because she wanted to go, and I've not looked back since 2001, and I'm still going now. My crafty inspirations are, I have to be inspired by my grandmother. She was an amazing sewer, and I just love to take inspiration from her. I can't sew, but I am blown away by what she used to do. But I just am inspired by all my colleagues around me, the other experts. I've just done a show today where we have third parties in, and I just love watching them and take little bits from them and then put my own twist on it. What's it like having crafty colleagues? It's fantastic. We are an amazing team. The support from Crafters Companion is brilliant. I have loved it. As you know, I've not been here overly long, but the team have opened their arms and welcomed me so fantastically. And I love watching the shows because a lot of the tips and techniques that you'll see me do in my shows, I picked up from my colleagues by watching their shows. What non-craft facts can I share with you? I have my pride and joy at the moment is my gorgeous little Cavapoo dog. I absolutely love her. Miss her like mad when I come up here. Elsie's at home with my husband. What is my biggest crafting success? Oh, I just think it was the day I was able to give up a 9-to-5 job and be able to come and be a craft demonstrator full time. And then the excitement when I came to join this team was amazing. I just think that has to be up there at the top for me.
Hey, welcome back to Crafters TV. So you're joined by myself, Debbie Fisher, and we have Jan Brown in the studio. And all of you are absolutely loving what Jan is doing because she is an absolute whiz at mixed media. What she does with them is always thinks outside the box. We've had people saying they're saving the show, they're going to watch back, they can't believe her tips and techniques. And we're very lucky. We're lucky to have you on the team, Jan, which is amazing. And it won't be no different with the next demo either, because we do have the most amazing numbers and alphabet dies, which are incredible because these are a really good size. I'm going to let Jan show you them in a little while, but first of all, let's show you what you are getting. So you're getting all your numbers and punctuation dies here, your full alphabet in your upper and lower case, which I think is a really positive thing, because I remember years ago buying a set of alphabets like this. I think you'll be the same, Jan, would cost you about £100 for a set of dies.
Definitely.
And they wouldn't be mixed media, they would be just thin metal dies. These are the ones that you could be cutting out of everything. They're going to be great for all your invitations, your wedding stationery, your numbered cards. If you want to put a number on someone's age, you know, you couldn't go and buy an 84th birthday card, you know, so you would be able to do that with these. So many different possibilities with them. And remember, today only till 12 o'clock tonight, we are giving you that chance with our 12 days of Craftmas. You're getting that additional 20% off. So your £55.20 platinum price, you will get another 20% off. And all you have to do is when you go to checkout, click on your code box and then put in that code CMAS20 and it will give you an additional 20% off. I mean, I don't think you could shop anywhere.
That's remarkable,
and be
isn't it?
in our club, which you're already getting depending on what stage you're at.
Yep.
If you don't know what we're talking about and you're brand new to Crafters TV, please go along to Crafters Companion on our website and join our club. It's absolutely free, and just for joining we will give you 5% off. Once you build up your points, you'll go to a silver level, you'll get more points off. Once you go there, you get gold, some people have free delivery, and then you go up to platinum membership. You get money off all the time, so it really is worth joining that club, but especially today when you're getting that extra 20% off as well, which is just incredible. So Jan, I believe you've got a demo with these dies.
I have, and it was sort of like, oh, now then, you know, uppercase, lowercase. Now, where do I go with it? So I chose the uppercase, but you could do this as a combination of any of them. And the thing about, I know I was talking about alphabets when I was here last week, and I just said it just gives you the facility to personalise absolutely anything. Now, if you're a paper crafter, there are lots of paper crafting alphabets out there. I've got about 2 or 3 in my stash, but again, these landed on my desk last week, and when I opened them up, I was like, wow. When I show you the size that these are, good size dies.
I didn't know how big they were.
Yeah, they're 2 inches in height. So again, this brings on another sort of aspect of they're becoming a feature rather than just an embellishment. So, you know, if you wanted to create maybe a name plaque for a bedroom door or something like that for a children's door or a grandchild's door, you've got the perfect size. And then you've got the lowercase, which are slightly smaller. And then, like Debbie said, with the numbers, you know, you can personalise absolutely anything. If you've got a 102nd birthday, you know, then you could probably buy a card in the stores for 100, but when you get to those irregular numbers, it's not as easy to find. So having something like that in your arsenal, I just think opens up so many doors. So then it was a case of, right, get the thinking cap on, Jan, what are we going to do? So I chose 4 of the letters, and it's my old Christmas alphabet again. I always do it's the only Christmas joke I know, Debbie. Which letter's missing out of the Christmas alphabet?
I like the fact that you just put no down straight away.
Which letter's missing out of the Christmas alphabet?
L.
There's no L. There's no L. Do you know, I asked them that the other day and our Johnny stumbled. He didn't know the answer.
Sorry, is Ben in the building?
It's the only joke I know. I've told it about 4 times now. But yeah, I thought, seeing as we're in a festive period, that's the one that I'm going to go for. And again, I had to dig through the stash. Now, I apologise because I don't do a lot of fabric work, so I've only got the one piece of fabric, which is that one that I've just used on the other card. So it's got that little snowflake on. But what I wanted to do was create sort of an alternate pattern. So we're going to do N, O, E and L. I think that was the way it was going to go. That one looks a bit bigger than that one. We'll put the O on there. Obviously there's slight differences in the width of your letters because some letters take up more space than others naturally. So for example, the M is going to be considerably wider than the L, for example. Now what I've done again is I've popped the fabric onto cardstock purely because we're working with these extra dies. Remember I said anything that was this colour is that multimedia die, which means it's a slightly, you can actually feel. If you get one of your thin metal dies out and run your finger across the edge, because they're not sharp, we call it a cutting edge, but they're not sharp, and then do the same on this one, you can actually feel the difference. It's not much, but it is noticeable. So that means you've got that option to cut through a thicker layer or more than one layer. Now, if you're using cardstock and you were wanting to batch make, you could probably cut 2 or 3 layers of cardstock in one go with one letter, one pass. I've actually done this, and again, the glitter card is our luxury cardstock, and I've matted it onto the all-purpose card. So I've got the equivalent of like 600 GSM there. So we're going to cut the numbers out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. So again, all the cutting that I've done today, I've had that metal shim in just to protect that plate underneath. And I am going to stick them down so that they don't decide to fly away when I put them through the machine. Number of times. Where I sit at home, my desk's here and my Gemini's right behind me. So when I pick the plates up and go around to the Gemini, invariably something shoots out of the middle and I end up going to Scrabble and have a look for it. So yeah, I've learned through time to just get them stuck in place. It's worth that extra minute or two just to get everything in the right place. So we've got the low tack tape there. It's not going to damage anything. It's going on an area that we're going to lose anyway as waste. But it does mean that everything's going to stay where you put it. So I've got all 4 of those on there together.
So I love that you use your metal shim as just that protection. I'd never really thought of that before. Do you need your metal shim?
Shall we try it?
Yes.
I don't want to get in bother from Tracy for damaging the plates.
Well, it'll be me because I'm using them tomorrow.
Shall we try it and see? I do tend to use my metal shim, but let's have a look.
Yeah, it'd just be worth knowing if you have to use your metal shim or actually whether it'll cut through those mediums.
So even taking the metal shim out, I'm still going to omit this magnetic.
Yep.
So multimedia and magnetic don't play together, purely because we've got the extra thickness in the die compensates for the thickness in the magnetic. And the magnetic and the plastic one are just shims. Their sole purpose really is to make up the right depth in the sandwich for you to actually pop it through and get the result. So here goes, experiment number 1.
See, this is what we love. We just love wing it demos where you can ask a question. If you want to know anything out there, then ask away. I'm sure our Jan won't mind doing it for you.
We'll soon find out. Now, not as good as I would have liked. Yeah, can you see, look? So we've lost that bite factor. So I always think, you know, when you've got metal to metal, like when you've got scissors or a guillotine, we've lost that bite factor of the pressure pushing the die through and meeting a metal, all right?
So it's good to have the metal.
Yeah, not quite gone all the way through, but that's the beauty of having these, you know, with the Gemini, because I can just pop those back on there now. I can put the plates back on. We can pass them through again, and we've not really lost anything other than that 18 seconds that we've done an experiment with. So it's worth knowing. It was a good question.
And actually, Jan, only 9 seconds because we're using the Gemini
smaller
Junior plates.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah, it's always worth knowing, and I think sometimes when you've got a brand new machine, it does have quite a bit of pressure in it to start, so you might find you wouldn't need it.
Yeah, but can you see the difference just having that bit of bite behind it? You can actually, what you should be able to see on the back, whether you're using these dies or thin metal, is as if you've drawn the outline in a pencil. You should be able to see that clearly. So yeah, that was a good experiment to do. I hadn't tried it without Debbie, so it's worthwhile trying, isn't it?
Always worth a try.
The one thing that I like about cutting fabric with metal dies is that it does, because it bevels the edges, it sort of reduces the fraying factor. Can you see how this is fraying around the edge of the cotton fabric? But because it bevels the edges there, you can just see how we've actually reduced. Just got a little bit there. I think that was possibly with flipping them through the other way.
It's a little bit like cutting an aluminium can. It bevels the edges of that, so it doesn't make them so
stops it being sharp, doesn't it? Yeah. And I think that it works on the fabric as well. I've noticed that. As I say, I don't tend to cut a lot of fabric.
Felt as well, I suppose, is a good one because it does the same. It doesn't make it sort of fluffy, the edges, or sort of frayed.
So it's just a case of snapping it away from the edge. I've just got a little tiny bit there where it's not quite. And I think it's because I'd turned them round when I put them through again the second time. So I'm just going to snip it with the scissors. But majority of that's cut away, you can see there. Just got a little bit right in the edge there. It's actually cut the majority of it. It's just the threads in the cotton that's...
just catching on that card.
I'd started out doing it onto red mirror card, and then I thought, actually, we'll put the fabric in again. So it's got an extra layer in there, actually, when I think about it. So it's got 2 layers of 300 GSM, and then the fabric
you were
on top.
pushing it to its limits,
So
Jan.
yes, maybe I was actually testing it. You'll find these ones will come out, because this is just the 2 layers. These will come out much easier, look. So let's get rid of the waste.
Well, you're better than me, Jan, because I wouldn't have had any material in my house.
It's only from doing the mixed media stuff in the past that I've got it. And as I say, I've only got that one lot. I remember buying it when I was at the store, mainly for when we're demonstrating the Gemini, and we show that they're cutting the layers of fabric.
Oh, of course,
So you can see there now, let's just trim that little bit where it's snagged it at the bottom there. That's it. So we've got our no L. Okay, so that's our die cutting done at the ready with those lovely uppercase alphabets. But I just think, you know, I wouldn't have been able to cut that thickness with an ordinary alphabet.
Yeah.
I may have been able to get it to go through the fabric with the metal shimming, but it might not have given me such a nice finish as that lovely beveled edge on it. So, you know, it's sort of horses for courses. And then it was like, right, what we're going to do with it. So what I've done is I've prepared lots of pieces at the ready because I didn't want to do all the sticking here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to make some bunting.
Where are these from?
This is actually from one of last year's paper pads, and I didn't even know they were in there until I flicked through it. Honestly, you find all sorts out. You tend to think of a paper pad having the 12 by 12 sheets in, but 'twas the night before Christmas last year. If you flick through the paper pad, there's a whole sheet that's got these little shapes
Well,
on.
I never knew that either.
There you go.
I think I've got that.
Yeah. I was just flicking through.
No, I haven't got that paper pad. I never did that launch, so I didn't have that
And it was
range.
just off that there, exactly what I'm looking for. So this was the sort of inspiration for, you know, the rest of it coming together. And I've just built up the background to make it a little bit bigger. So all I've done is pop some tape on the back of here to add a bit of dimension. So we're just going to create all these the same. So I've just literally put these sort of ones that had like a reddish background for the red letters, and then I've gone with the darker green for the green letters. So again, I'm just going to position those in the centres here. And all I've done is just cut squares. I've worked from this design and then went up for my mat layer, up again, and I've used craft card for that back layer. So let's get all those 4 stuck down, and then we're going to put the letters on top. And then I've got some twine. All I've done on the top of these is left a ½ an inch longer than what I actually want them. And I'll show you, we're going to pop the twine underneath there to create the, like a garland. So that's 2.
The craft card really sets it off, doesn't it?
Do you know, I love my craft card. It's
Yeah,
one of
me
my
too.
favourite ones to use. I sometimes have to stop myself reaching for it, otherwise everything would be done in craft card.
Absolutely. It's a good good time to stock up on all your craft essentials, because remember, you're getting that 20% off today.
So last one of those. So they're literally just repeated with the different images on the tops there. Okay, and then we're going to go back to that tacky glue. Now again, you could raise the letters up on some extra foam if you wanted to, if you really wanted to get some dimension on there, but I'm just going to stick with these nice and flat. Pop those in the centre.
This is so lovely. Such a nice different idea to do.
I like to try and think of something different. You know, it's like, you know, we're a nation of card makers, and don't get me wrong, I love making my cards.
Of course.
But it's just showing you, you know, what else you can do with something as well as popping it. I mean, this could just as easily have been, you know, the focal point on the front of a card. But it's just sort of thinking outside that box and just adding other little bits to that design.
Absolutely, and what I love, Jan, is you've stuck to Christmas because of this time of year, but that could be somebody's name for their birthday party. I mean, it would just look amazing. It's such a clever
If you've got
concept.
that alphabet, you can literally make it read whatever you want. So it could, like you say, it could be a name. Director Jamie's just saying it's for Noel's birthday party. They make me laugh, honestly. So then what I've done, as I say, is just score a ½ inch at the top there, and I've popped some tape on the back ready. So I'm going to turn them so that they're in the right orientation but upside down. And then I've just got a length of twine. I've got some little bells in my stash, and we're literally going to pop this across here. So I'm going to take the bottom layer of tape off first, and I want about the same at each side, but it's not the end of the world if it's not quite right. And then take this one off and secure that piece in the back.
Perfect.
Okay, and then we'll do the same gap at this end, and then I know how much I've got to play with in the back. Okay, so that's that one. And then I know how much room I've got in the middle there to just pop these. So probably about there. And then last one, we'll just centre that roughly in that one. So it's just sealed it, and I've just gone with the red line tape there because it's nice and easy.
I think that's a really good way to use your red liner tape and stick them like that. Oh, look at that.
Does it read right? Have I got it back to front? I haven't, have I?
Oh, I love it. Got Leon. We could give that to Johnny. His son's called Leon.
Isn't it Leo?
Oh, it's Leo. We could take the N away and we could give it to Johnny for Leo. Yeah, not Leon, Leo.
And you're going to pick it up, then I thought, I've turned them over, it's going to be the wrong way around, isn't it?
If there's any Leons watching, you know, message him, perhaps Jan would send it to you. I love that.
In the background, yeah.
Jan, I thought it was only me that did things like that.
No. Do you know, I was fine when they were down, and then I was just about to pick it up, and I thought that's going to be the wrong way around, isn't it?
Oh, I love that. That might get me out
the idea.
That might get me out of Waxgate. They won't remember me anymore. It'll be Jan and her Leon card now.
My Leon Bunting, yes. Happy Christmas, Leon, wherever you are. Especially for you.
Love that. Absolutely brilliant.
That was funny.
Just recapping on those, our multi-craft alphabet numbers and punctuation dies, which are just amazing. You've seen what Jan has done with those. Looks amazing. Whatever name you put on them, they're going to look amazing. But you could use them for your scrapbooks, you can use them for your cards, your boxes, decoration, anything you want to put them on for. Today's price, £69 or $81. But please remember, remember when you're checking out your baskets to put in the code when you go to checkout of CMAS. So it's CMAS 20, and you will get an additional 20% off on them. So please, I don't want you to miss out on that extra 20%. We've had our 12 days of Craftmas, and this is our 12th day, so it's the last time to grab yourself that amazing deal before Christmas. Jan, we need to get the craft card of the show.
I'm just undoing Leon. And I can't have him the wrong way around.
She's changed it about.
Just talk for a minute while I swap Leon round.
While Jan's changing
Honestly.
that, I'm actually going to bring in the boards for this and show you the boards.
I can't have him the wrong way around.
You have been absolutely loving the birthday box because we've not put an offer on this, but we've got 20% off today. It's the first time this box has been on offer, which is absolutely amazing. So please take advantage. You're all jumping in and buying this. Once you get to checkout, remember to take that code off and you will get 20% off of that. I'm going to show you the things that you're going to be getting in this birthday box. Now, it was the box that Sarah brought out on our birthday week in October, or birthday event, should I say, because it went over a couple of weeks. You're getting stencils in there, which are absolutely beautiful. The most amazing dies, which are just going to, and in fact, this box, Jan, is going to work so well with those alphabet dies and the number dies. So you're getting that huge amount of stamps in there. You're then getting your gorgeous embossing folder and your stencil as well. So you can stencil over the top, which is incredible. As with all boxes, you know we've got the most amazing accessories in there. 6 different ribbons. You've got 3 organza and 3 satin ribbons. There's also, so what Jan's just done, how about making your own bunting? With these two, you're actually getting the stencils to create your bunting in 2 different sizes. I love this stencil. So going back to Wake Up Call this morning, Jan showed you how to use this stencil with your ink pads, which looked amazing. And then just the most amazing die set that you get in this box. I mean, honestly, it really is the box that keeps on giving. There's so many different dies in here. You've got that cupcake, you've got to create a card die, you've got those birthday wishes, lots and lots in there. Then we've got our solid colours, so it's still going. We've got all those different colours of solid cardstock, 8x8, double-sided these are, so you're getting that tone on tone each side. And then the most pretty, beautiful birthday papers you can think of. Again, double-sided, you're going to be using these time and time again. And I love the fact that today only you're getting 20% off. So please don't forget that code when you are checking out your baskets. This is a really good box for anyone that wants a celebratory to send to anyone. So any celebration card, it's absolutely amazing. Now we're going to do our card of the show, Jan. So what have you got for us?
Right, so top of the show then we did those gorgeous jigsaw pieces then. So we used a sentiment this time. We used one of the chalkboard sentiments and stamped that out, then cut the jigsaw, and then I'd just made the little plaque using one of those pieces of mount board. So the lady that asked about whether they were suitable for mini book covers and things like that, absolutely. I think they'd be perfect for that. So that was number 1. Number 2 were those gorgeous little animal characters, and we had little Leo the lion there. See, the bunting was for him, it was for Leo the lion. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 were our gatefold design, and we made that lovely Happy New Year card there with my sexy black.
Oh, it's a tough one. Yeah. It's going to be a tough one.
And then I have actually rectified it now.
Hey,
yes, I couldn't have it wrong. So we've actually got Noel. We've got him the right way round now with the little bells on the edge there to just pop up at Christmas. So that was number 4 with those lovely applique alphabet sets.
So 1, 2, 3 and 4, get your votings going. Well, if I could show you the amount of laughing faces, Jan, it's very funny.
You know, when you get that dread, when I went to pick it up, I thought, oh no, I know exactly what I've done now.
I know, so don't we all make the same mistakes?
Oh.
As people say, no, Debbie, Waxgate still up there. Thank you, Debbie. Nothing will get you out of Waxgate.
That's got to be an all-time favourite. That way. It was just the fact that you kept going.
It just gets funnier. I can't watch it, honestly. Jan, that is just too funny. Don't worry, Jan. My BFF's youngest grandson's name is Leon.
Oh, dear.
There you go. What a great way to start my day. Nice, crafty laugh with all my crafty friends. Just peeped in at the right time. Have a wonderful day. Yes, you too, Anne. Absolutely amazing. Right, something that you are absolutely loving is these really cute little dies, and that is all thanks to Jan's makes today, because you're loving them. They're flying out the door. There is so many different animals, very cute animals, that you can make with these. I just love them. You can make so many different ones. You can see all of these ones here, 15 different animals in total. That's quite a lot. You're getting 63 dies in this collection, all of these 3 packs. I mean, that's insane value to make all those animals, £30 or $35. And remember, you're getting that additional 20% off as well, which is amazing. So Jan's got what you're going to show off.
I'm going to be having a play with those, I think, when I get home, with regards to, as I say, my little Toby. He loves anything like that. But we actually, that was the one that we made on the card with the lion. But I'd done this one at home just in the felt and the lovely glitter fabric. And, you know, they're a good size embellishment. It's a little bit deceiving because they look so much smaller on the packet, and it does say that they're not the actual size, but they are big enough to be a focal point on a design. And if you are a soft crafter, you know, just imagine something like that embroidered onto a cushion, or appliqued onto a cushion, should I say, with a name perhaps put at the side of it. It would be gorgeous, wouldn't it?
It's so I love that.
A name plaque, you know, imagine on your sort of your child's bedroom door or something with something like this, and then their name put at the side of it, combining that alphabet. I just think there's so much versatility with them.
Oh, absolutely.
And very, very cute.
Yeah, very cute. And it just shows you different mediums that you use will make it look so much different. It won't surprise you to know that number 4 has won. I wished it was kept as Leon. I think that would have been amazing. But it is back to Noel, and it is absolutely beautiful. So that will go in our vote for tonight. We're just going to leave you on the shape jigsaws. Now remember to have a look at these because they are amazing. Add some extra mount board into your basket, and then you'll be able to add all your pictures and make them into amazing little gifts this Christmas, or actually all year round, which will be incredible. $45.99, $52.99, and remember in dollars, and remember that you can get your additional 20% off when you check out as well. Now, we're talking about mount board. We do have some mount board on the show in all different sizes. You just choose which ones you want. This is a pack of 40, which is amazing. We've got our 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 mount board for only £13.58 or $16.98, which is incredible value. Look at our platinum price, £10.86 for 40 sheets of mount board. That's insane, and you get another 20% off on that. Our next one, we're going up in size now, so if you want something bigger and you want to go for those bigger puzzles that we have, you've got your 8 3/4 by 10 3/4 mount board, 2-pack again, 40 sheets in total, £24.46 platinum price. And then we're going up again by our 9 by 12, our mount board. Now you're getting 10 sheets in each, so 20 sheets in total, £20.38 or $27.13. But please, I know I've told you all about it today, but it does only last till 12 o'clock tonight. So that 20% off, you have to check out with a code. The code is CMAS Christmas 20, and you will be given that additional 20% off when you're checking out, which is quite incredible, especially if you're Platinum member, because you will still get your discount, whatever discounts we've shown you, and that additional 20% off as well. Thank you for joining us today. Jan, thanks for today. It's just been amazing.
Very, very quickly, because there's one demo I didn't get in, and these will be on the Shop the Day category. So we did actually touch on them this morning, and we made the little character tag. So we had the little Rudolph there, we had the polar bear. It's the same kit, and I did mention this morning that we'd do a demo with the stars, and I haven't had chance because we've run out of time. But just to show the idea of popping the stars behind them, it's the same idea with the character building, but just actually double backing the star there and popping a hole, which is why I bought my crocodile. You can actually make your own sort of Christmas decorations as well. So just another use for those gorgeous little character dies, and that's the ones with the star background. So we had the character set that we've just looked at with the baby puppy.
Yep.
And then we've also got the ones with the stars on as well. So that was going to be that last demo, but I just wanted to show you that one, just to give you an idea what they look like.
Perfect. Just amazing demos. Jan, always fabulous as ever. Everyone is saying that they're having the most fun today. What a great way to start her day. Nice crafty laugh. And to all my crafty friends, just popped in at the right time. Have a wonderful day. Betty saying, thank you, Debbie and Jan, for the great show and the whole CCTV team. And Coletta saying, lovely show today. Great show, ladies. See you in a couple of hours. You absolutely will. Please come back and join us. We'll be back, myself and Jan, at 6 p.m. for Monday Makers. Bye.